Get rich or die trying sums up the hip-hop lifestyle. But ice on the chain, dropping dollars in the club, and custom cribs don't come for free. In some cases, the hip-hop lifestyle is summed up more like get rich, then go bankrupt. So let's take a look at rappers who went completely broke with dumb decisions. Tyga can't change his stripes. This Rag City rapper certainly managed to rack up a sizable amount of debt. In 2018, rapper Tyga was reported to owe over $890,000 in back taxes from 2011 to 2016. Do those dates sound familiar? That's because those were the years Tyga met and dated now billionaire Kylie Jenner. So being wrapped in the glitz and glamour of the reality TV lifestyle may have put paying taxes to the back of his mind. But since his split with the pop culture princess, Tyga's financial woes really seem to have gotten on top of him, unlike his ex. In March 2016, the rapper was hounded by a $186,000 damage suit after he apparently wrecked a property he rented with hazardous waste. Then in August 2016, Beverly Hills jeweler Jason Arashbin claimed Tyga owed him an eye-watering $280,000 for unpaid jewelry. But his luck kept sliding as his 2016 Ferrari 488 was repossessed several times after he failed to make his repayments. Once while he was out shopping for a new Bentley. That'll definitely cost you some street cred. Feeling T-Pain. T-Pain is real. How, you ask? Reckless spending and bad management. At his peak in 2008, T-Pain is believed to have had more than $40 million in the bank. This hard-earned cash was almost immediately splurged, with the rapper buying outlandish things like a collection of 36 classic cars, including a $1.2 million Bugatti Veyron. Unfortunately, he managed to blow one of the $1 million car's radiators in less than 5 months, costing $90,000 to fix. In an interview from August 2019, T-Pain revealed he was also trusting his manager at the time to invest in real estate properties for him, assuming that he knew what he was doing. Although he never disclosed how many properties were bought or how much he spent, it turns out none of them ever sold. Bad investments and pure fiscal irresponsibility led to the foreclosures of his Florida home after he defaulted on his loan, racking up a bill of $117,158 in repayments, interest, and legal fees. His $6 million home in Atlanta also came under threat of foreclosure, and all of this is without mentioning his brother's recent medical bill at a huge $1.4 million. During this time, he admitted that he'd hit a financial low so deep that he was borrowing money to buy his kids Burger King. $40 million to $0 in 10 years? That's so fast it puts Bugatti to shame. Exhibit A, B, and C. The undisputed king of MTV in the early 2000s was none other than rapper and Pimp My Ride host Exhibit. But when the mighty fall, they fall hard. At his height, he was selling 1 million records per album. But by 2006, that number dropped to just 122,000. Everything then hung on the rapper's TV hosting career, but after Pimp My Ride was canceled in 2007, that paycheck fell flat. Public records show that in 2007, Exhibit was earning $497,175, but that plummeted to just $67,510 in 2008. For most people, that's a decent living, but if you've got 2 houses in Florida and New Mexico to mortgage, plus a high-end lifestyle to fund, that simply doesn't cut it. In 2009, he attempted to file for bankruptcy twice, and even though both attempts were dismissed, his finances were clearly in ruin. In total, he had $739,433 in assets, but court records from 2001 showed he owed over $959,000 in back taxes. To add insult to injury, it was revealed he didn't even own a pimped-out ride himself, but a leased-out 2006 Range Rover costing $2,230 a month. You may see him rolling, but I very much doubt you're hating. Aaron's party is over. Sometimes the dumbest decision is trusting that your parents know exactly what they're doing. That's what child star and now rapper Aaron Carter found out when he turned 18 back in 2005. Up until then, it was thought that his music industry success had earned him upwards of $100 million. But his birthday gift was a tax lien of $4 million, and somehow there was only $2 million left in his hedge fund. His parents had failed to put aside 15% of his earnings into a Coogan account, which is required by law in the United States for child actors. The rest had gone to a $10 million family compound, yachts, cars, and anything else that fueled his family's lavish lifestyle. Owing more than he had, in 2013, Carter had no choice but to file for bankruptcy. But that wasn't the end of his troubles. A A life of being pampered meant Carter struggled to grasp how his finances worked and was taken advantage of by managers and people with access to his accounts. He assumed he was about 150 grand in debt, but after appearing on Spike TV's Life or Debt, it was revealed he was actually 227 grand in the hole. Ignorance is bliss, but it sure as hell isn't profitable. Bro Kanye West. There's no shame in admitting you need financial help. Just take a leaf out of Kanye West's Twitter. The 7-time platinum-selling rapper, also known as Yeezy, Yee, or the Louis Vuitton Don, really put himself out there in 2016 when he publicly stated he was in $53 million of personal debt. So how did this rapping giant fall so hard that he resorted to begging Mark Zuckerberg for money? The answer? Fashion. And I'm not talking about buying his wife a new wardrobe every day. She can do that herself. After the success of his album 808s and Heartbreaks, in 2009, Kanye tried to break into the fashion industry with his brand Pastel. But after storming in on Taylor Swift's moment on the 2009 VMA stage and humiliating himself, he retreated into the shadows and quietly folded the company. But he wasn't finished. In 2011, he tried his hand at high-end women's fashion, which was completely slammed by fashion critics. A capsule collaboration with APC followed, and an interview with its founder revealed it put the rapper out at least $30 million and received another round of mixed reviews. His collaborations with Nike on Yeezy sneakers were a tremendous hit, but he revealed he wasn't given a percentage of the sales and eventually moved over to Adidas to expand into clothing. In an interview about his first fashion season, he was quoted to be a further $16 million into the red. So Yeezy stemmed the cash flow hemorrhage, but didn't initially make up for all the failed investments beforehand. Although Kanye did eventually become friends with Zuckerberg, and even sang karaoke with him, he never borrowed that $1 billion. He actually ended up earning it all by himself. Since that desperate tweet, the Yeezy brand has built up a strong reputation and made Kanye at least $1.5 billion in 2019 alone. Jesus Christ. Lil' Kim, aka Queen Buzzkill. The original Queen Bee, Lil' Kim, was once the biggest female name in hip-hop, but a brief prison stint really killed her buzz. In 2001, she was convicted of lying to the Grand Court about her friend's involvement in the shooting of 2 rival rappers. Trying to put the incident behind her, in 2002, she bought a huge 6,000 square foot, $2.3 million mansion, which became a huge burden after her former label, Brooklyn Media, sued her for $2.5 million and barred her from putting out any new music. In 2012, it was reported she owed over $1 million in taxes, but by 2018, that figure had skyrocketed. Despite a brief comeback in 2016, which saw her earn $823 grand, this appears to have dropped to just over $180 grand in 2018. But after failing to make a $10,155 payment on her mansion that June, it emerged she owed creditors a staggering $4 million. $2 million owed to a loan company linked to her mansion, $1.8 million in unpaid taxes from 2004 to 2017, and $186 grand in unpaid legal bills. The incident forced her to declare bankruptcy. Looks like this Queen Bee should have been more of a worker bee. Bow down, bow wow. Every rapper claims to be rolling in Benjamins and dropping dollars at the club until they're asked to pay child support. And rapper Bow Wow can be added to that list. Having released songs bragging about his lavish lifestyle like Mo Money and Prince of Fame, it all seemed to dry up in October 2012 when he claimed he had no money to pay $3,000 a month in child support because he earned just $4,000 a month. This news came almost a year after it was reported he drove a $200,000 Bentley to his agent's office where he begged for money because he was dead broke. A few weeks later, Bow Wow denied the Bentley had been repossessed, while it was discovered the rapper owed $91 grand to the IRS. Court documents from the time show he owed $283 grand to a company who leased him a Ferrari 430 in 2008, which was then also repossessed in 2009. Since then, he's been caught multiple times exaggerating the state of his finances while adamantly telling the world he's not broke. Like here, when he posted a stack of cold hard cash on his Instagram, later found to be taken from actual millionaire Timothy Sykes' profile. Or here, when he claimed to be flying to New York on a private jet, but was caught by a fan flying in an economy. Or here, when he drove a Ferrari to the Grammys and posted a photo, followed by the car rental company he had borrowed it from showing him up and using the same image. Looks like this dog has had his day, and it is well and truly over. Can't follow a simple Ja rule. To the hip-hop fans among you, Ja Rule is an early 2000s rapping legend who had multiple top 20 Billboard hits and was featured in videos alongside the immortal J-Lo. To everyone else, he's that ass from the Fire Festival scam. In 2017, the absolute car crash that was meant to be a luxury festival in the Bahamas failed spectacularly in the hands of Ja Rule and his business partner, Billy McFarland. By some miracle, Ja Rule managed to squirm out from the $100 million lawsuits that landed at his door following the festival's collapse, but that wasn't the fraudulent end for Ja Rule. It wasn't even the beginning. In 2011, this rapper had been handed a 2-year jail sentence for evading $1.1 million in tax. But in 2019, that figure got even worse when the IRS court files were released showing Ja Rule now owed over $1.5 million for taxes evaded from 2005 to 2008, as well as over $400,000 from 2016. Yet another high-rolling rapper who somehow can't afford to pay his taxes. Now that's what I call coming under heavy fire. Birdman with a bird brain. You may not have heard of the rapper Birdman, but you definitely know the acts that his label Cash Money has driven to the main stage. Drake, Nicki Minaj, and Lil Wayne's success have led to Birdman's company being one of the most successful record labels in hip-hop history. But all that money doesn't seem to have been enough to stop Birdman facing bankruptcy. In September 2017, a company named EMG Transfer Agent accused Birdman of borrowing $12 million in 2015 and putting his insanely expensive $14.5 million Miami mansion up as collateral. After defaulting on the loan, the company kicked him out of the house and seized the property along with all its contents. The 9-bed, 17-bathroom mansion features a below-ground pool, 100 feet of waterfront property, and a private dock, also containing 4 collectible Gucci bikes, which the company has listed as missing and is holding Birdman accountable for. The amount Birdman owes is outstanding at an eye-watering $20.5 million. And that's not including legal fees or interest. Initially, EMG put the property on the market in 2017 at a whopping $20 million, but 3 years on, that cost has been slashed to $12.9 million. So even if it does miraculously sell, that still leaves Birdman with a $7 million hole to fill. Maybe your mom can help out with that. Which of these broke rappers do you think made the dumbest decisions? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.